Greetings and welcome back to a new review for Imouto Sae Ireba Ii. Boy, oh boy, episode 4 was hilarious. I was laughing so hard for, well, pretty much all the time, especially the second half with the tax accountant. And man, I really have to say that she is the most sadistic character of the season. And yep, we have a show called Blend S, which is about a character having to act like a sadist in a cafe because she's a waitress there. But in this show, the tax accountant, she is seriously sadistic. And we had quite a few jokes, and I knew from the light novel that there is a scene with the tax accountant also explaining basically how the tax stuff works and how authors are actually self-employed. But while we had some real life stuff going on with the taxes and the return of the taxes if you paid too much, but at the end of it, it was an hilarious episode, and God, I loved it. We started the first half off with the editor coming because it's Valentine's Day, and I think Best Buddy Kun, he was there, showed up with some chocolate flavored beer. And boy, I really have to say that this show is kind of the Imouto version, anime version of How I Met Your Mother. Because in literally every episode you see them drinking alcohol. And it's something that is actually quite rare in anime, so it's one of the funny things that this is what you don't see this often. Most of the time you have high school characters who are getting drunk on juice or rum flavored ice cream or something like this, but yep, here they are drinking beer and wine and stuff like this. But aside this, with the editor coming and bringing chocolate from the fans, and Best Friend Kun making another photo for his Twitter account, and talking about how time consuming it is to work on the anime adaptation, and how Nayu declined any offers for adaptations. And her reason is just, well, I would be too busy to see Itsuki-kun, so fuck this. I'm not doing it. I don't want to work more than necessary. Which is really hilarious, because she's just wanting to hang around his place. She should just move in with him. But then we were moving to the tax accountant, who was going through Itsuki's stuff, his online stuff, his receipts from stuff he bought, to look, well, what can we write off as expenses for being an author? And then we went to the figurines and the games. Boy, this was hilarious, let me tell you. We had a shot of his bookshelf with some light novel titles we know, and there was this huge poster of Oregairu with Komachi on it. But then there was going on with the figurines, and he was like, it's the main heroine and the little sister of, well, Oreimo, Haganai, and Oregairu. And then the tax accountant was like, yeah, we are going to say that these are materials for research. And Itsuki was like, no, these are little sisters, we can't do this. Yeah, but with the money from the tax return you can buy more. And he was like, well, yep, okay, please do. You can bait him with little sister figurines. And then we were moving over to the video games, especially the eroge. And he was in a tough position. He had to explain the contents of these titles, and these titles were actually very obvious what's going on, but the text accountant was like, yeah, what's this game about? So it really was hilarious to see it like this, and I had a great time watching it. Him being troubled, and she in the end just doing it for the trollolols, for her own fun and enjoyment and entertainment. And it's really what was driving this episode, because the funniest moments were in this part. And by the end of it, she went home. Itsuki got 3 times more back than the year before. And then his best buddy was over at his place, and the tax accountant came in. And he was freaking out. And she was making fun of both of them once again, and she revealed kinda what stuff Itsuki's best buddy had at home, and he has quite the maid fetish about the amount of eroge he has. And then Itsuki confirmed, like, oh yeah, you really have a thing for them. They're appearing in your books quite often, and most of the girls are ending up in a maid costume anyways. So yeah, you have a thing for them, right? So it was really funny to go on. So we have one author having a little sister thing and the other having a maid thing. And then the tax accountant was trolling both of them, spinning the imagination wheel in Haruta's head with like, yeah, you know what, I could show up in a maid outfit myself, and I could maybe give some furry service as well. Which was hilarious, and he was imagining it, and she was making fun of him and being like, yeah, you know what, you will feel terrible and guilty by it, and then you end up comforting yourself, so yeah. And for Itsuki, she was like, yeah, and I will call you Oni-chan. And then her age was revealed. She's actually 32 years old. Itsuki's reaction was just like, age doesn't matter when it comes to little sisters. It was hilarious. So, yeah. I liked all of the episodes so far. And I know that a lot of people dropped this show with episode 1. Because the normie filter, people call it like this, the first 2 minutes of episode 1. But it was really strange and weird, but once you get past this show is hilarious, and it kinda does remind me a little bit of a more... I don't want to go so far to say that this is like Girlish Number, who the show that was roasting the anime production with voice actors who were also having to give concerts and singing because, well, they look good. And this one, it's about authors writing their stuff and what they do, so it's not that in a sarcastic or way or as a parody, but there are some jokes in this show that it really is tending into this direction, so yeah, it's something I really do enjoy, and I can't wait for the light novel to be officially released in English. And I think it will be sometimes next year that the first novel will hit the store, so obviously I will get it and I will read it. But yeah, like I've said, great, funny, hilarious episode, and totally worth the time to watch and enjoy it, if you get past the normie filter from episode 1. But yeah, I think that's it for now. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope I will see you guys next time as well. Have a great time, see ya later, alligators.